Okay, so what happens when you get Botox or a filler and you don't like the result?
So it's really important to note that neither Botox nor Juvederm is permanent. So Allergan don't do any permanent aesthetic procedures, and that's really important because that gives you much more flexibility. Juvederm is made from hyaluronic acid, which is a sugar that's naturally found in the body. So eventually that will start to break down and will go through the body naturally. So most of the Juvederm range lasts between 12 to 18 months. So you will have a medium-term result, and then you can talk to your physician about when you need to go back for other areas.
Okay, and Botox, how long does that last?
Botox lasts between 4 to 6 months. And again, what's really important is to have a good treatment plan. So a good physician will sit down with you and really understand what are your goals. So most women will go into a physician and say, I feel really tired, but they won't know why. Or they'll say, I really hate this line. And a good doctor will say, actually, we need to not just chase the wrinkle, we need to look at the whole face. So then he'll put together a treatment plan, which means you don't have to have everything in one go. You also don't need to pay for everything in one session. You can organise according to your budget. So he will say to you, you're losing volume here, so you would benefit from Juvederm filler in the cheeks to give you a bit more volume. Or he might say the forehead is starting to sag because of gravity, unfortunately. And so maybe you might want a filler here in the eyebrows to lift the eyebrows. And you can talk to him about what your concerns are. And after a good consultation, you could have a plan that might span a year or even 2 years to look at the areas that you want to treat. Okay,
and how much would this set someone back a full program like this? How much would it cost?
I mean, that completely depends. So that's, again, it depends on what you would need and the different area of the face that you would treat. So again, my advice would be find a good practitioner using the Juvederm Clinic Locator from May onwards. And then sit down and talk to your physician about what your budget is and what your goals are, because everything can be worked within what you want to achieve, within what time period, and how much money you have to spend.
Okay, so it's pretty much up to you how flexible you want to make it.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. And then one more question. What age is appropriate for someone to start Botox or fillers?
It's a really good question, and it's a question that people always ask, but I will say, what age did you decide to dye your hair? For some people, the first grey hair, my case at about 27, means that you start dyeing your hair. For other people, they don't mind. So I think it's that day when you look in the mirror and you think, the creams aren't really working for me anymore. I still don't look how I feel inside. And that's what most people say. No one wants to look different. Everyone wants to look like them, but the best version of them they can be. People rarely go into physicians' offices to say, I'd like to look 18 again. Most people just go in and say, I just want to look revitalized and refreshed.
Because there's also obviously the risk of looking frozen or a bit too puffy. Or what happens when how should you sort of not let that happen?
So the Juvederm range is very natural. So we really pride ourselves on being able to give physician tools for a natural result. So we try to avoid having the frozen face. And I think, again, this is a bit of a myth that nowadays we have so many innovative products, and the Juvederm range is really the next generation of dermal fillers.
So you won't necessarily look frozen or puffy or
absolutely not. The Juvederm range actually moves with your skin, so you'll still be able to, whilst when you're static, your face could have fewer lines, but when you express, you'll still see lines here. And we really try to make sure that that's what our product represents. So all of our models, most of whom are South African actually, but all of them have lines. They all can express. And that's really important because, again, it's part of who you are. So the product will give you that movement, but also the kind of refreshed look that you're looking for.